make sure you've got your run rate business working. That's your bread and butter.
Is your next strategic move going upmarket? Bain Capital's Ajay Agarwal will give it to you straight. Good to see you here on The Forecast, everyone. I'm Molly St. Louis, here to unpack what it really takes to make the move upmarket with one of the industry's foremost experts. So let's get down to business. Some of the most successfully scaled B2B SaaS companies in the world have evolved upmarket. Dropbox, Slack, Zoom, and Marketo are all great examples of companies that started small, but eventually grew to land large enterprise deals. Developing that sales motion is the dream for many companies, but it's a particularly complex process to get right, especially during the new normal with more scrutiny on budgets. So let's unpack these ideas with SaaS industry veteran Bain Capital's Ajay Agarwal. Ajay, welcome to The Forecast.
Great to be here. Thanks, Molly.
How are you helping your current portfolio companies identify new markets or double down on current markets, especially in the current environment?
Well, I think the biggest thing in my mind is when you get to a point in that addressable market where anybody in your company can sell your product to somebody in that segment. Early days, you're relying on the founders' evangelical sales, the charisma and the vision of those founders to get those early clients. But if you've defined your initial segment, well, and your product is truly superior, you've got to get to the point where anyone in your company can sell that product, and they can sell it in a repeatable fashion. What you're pitching and what you're selling and the value proposition you're describing is the same for each of the clients that you're selling it to.
If you have that repeatability on lock, how do you know that you should go up or down market?
Well, I think it's very difficult to go down market. I think if you're a company that's starting at a certain point in the pyramid, I think you have to recognize that structurally, it's hard to make a product simpler. It's easier to take a product and make it more feature rich over time. And so there's been a history of companies that have started at the bottom and then worked their way up.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, I'd love to take a moment to check in with Clari analyst Will Patterson about what signals executives need to be looking for as they consider going up market. How's it going, Will?
Hello, everyone. While we're talking about going up market, let's think about how the sales team needs to engage differently with buyers as deal sizes increase. Our research found that deals over 100K required an average of 19 meetings and 14 different external stakeholders to close successfully. That's 80% more activity and 35% more stakeholders than corresponding deals under 100K. So as you make your move up market, make sure that you're digging into both breadth and depth of sales activity. Back to you, Molly.
Thanks so much, Will, for those excellent insights. So Ajay, how do you balance the desire for landing big deals with an interest in velocity?
What we advise our companies is make sure you've got your run rate business working. That's your bread and butter. The $100,000 deals, $250,000 deals, $75,000 deals, whatever that core sales motion is, get that working, and have that be the predictable. And then think about the big deals as, kind of almost a separate line item. Maybe you have quarterly goals, but you really think about those big deals more on an annual cycle. Have dedicated strategic account executives focused on the big deals. As you think about forecasting, the kind of haircut you're going to take on those, the predictions around the sales cycle length, just build a lot more buffer, around that segment. And I think the mistake is to take all of the transactions, your core business and the big deals, and lump them all together. It'll skew the averages. It'll make the data very messy and noisy. And you've really got to separate out the big deals in terms of how you think about it, and feel like 80-90% of our number we're going to hit with the core business, and then these big deals provide this pop, and that way you can manage through the shocks of the unpredictability of the big deals, but at the same time take advantage of them. When they come and they come in a big way. And as you get good at that, even the big deals start to become more repeatable. You build a bigger pipeline. You may not know which of the big deals are going to close, but you eventually get to a point where you've got enough volume there as well that it starts feeling more predictable and more repeatable.
Ajay, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here. But I do have one final question, and it's an important one. What is your forecast for the future of technology markets?
You know, the way we all work and live is profoundly changing. The impact is going to be, more permanent, even post-pandemic, and that's going to introduce new processes for how we work, and that's going to create opportunities for software. So I think it really is a unprecedented time for software entrepreneurs, and there's never been a time like it. I thought the late 90s, having lived through that, were the greatest era of software in the history of software. It was the first time, people had laptops and they needed software to run on those laptops, and that created the company I was with and hundreds of amazing companies. But now with the cloud, the whole planet, is now connected, and all those people need software to get work done and do their jobs. And that's really fueling this incredible wave that we're all fortunate really to be a part of.
When it comes to going upmarket, repeatability is the name of the game, and that goes for repeatable sales processes and repeatable revenue. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until we meet again, stay healthy, stay focused, and stay connected.